Rosie, I'm going to make a bento box. Now, a bento box is basically this thing. And if you go to Japan, at lunchtime, everyone has a bento box. I'm going to do a pork bento box. I'm going to marinate the pork and do a lovely little dish with it.
What kind of pork we got today?
Well, what I'm using is tenderloin or eye fillet, which is a beautiful cut. It's a small muscle that comes from the inside of the of the body, but it's really tender. Really, really tender and flavoursome.
Expensive?
It is the most expensive cut, generally speaking, because it's a muscle that doesn't do a lot of work. So it's really, really tender. It's great for if Nana's coming over and her teeth aren't that good.
Oh, yeah.
You can serve up a piece of the tenderloin or the fillet, they call it, and that's what makes it really...
The pedigree stuff.
Exactly, exactly. So what I've got is one whole tenderloin. I'm going to pop it into the bowl here. I probably won't cook the whole lot of it because it's just a bento box for me and we don't want to waste any. I can marinate it and leave it in there and cook it the next day. Now, what I'm going to do is add some yuzu in there, and while I'm doing this, you can grate that ginger there.
Ginger that I'm smelling.
Exactly. Yuzu is a Japanese fruit. It's very citrusy in flavour. They use it for a dressing called ponzu dressing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to add some light soy, which is very, very common in Japan. Not so much salt in it, and it's got a really, really good flavour. I'll pop that out of the way. I'm also going to add a little bit of mirin, which is nice and sweet, and also some rice wine vinegar. Just a little bit. A little bit of acid with the yuzu is perfect, and I'm just going to give a little bit of a squirt in there, probably about a teaspoon of that.
Lovely.
Now, Rosie, what I'm going to get you to do is stir that around nice and gently, and I'm going to put some salt and pepper in. I'm going to put a bit of Murray River salt in there. Salt flakes go really well with it, and some pepper. What I'm going to do is turn that around there, get a nice amount of pepper.
Some of those pepper antioxidants happening.
Exactly, exactly. Now, normally, Rosie, what I would say to you is pop this into the fridge.
It smells unique.
It is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to pop this into the fridge. Well, I would normally say get it into the fridge, let it marinate for an hour or so, put some cling film over it. But, you know, we're going to get cracking here. So what I'm going to do is turn my pan up a little bit, and I'll grab some of this off you, Rosie. What I'm going to do is pop it into the pan. You'll hear a bit of a sizzle. I'm just going to brown it off a little bit and use some of the juice in the end to flavour it up. Move that around like that. As I said, I'm only going to cook about half of it all the way through here. You will see some caramelising going on with the yuzu. So I've got it on a low sort of heat. And I'll just pop that on there like that. I'll pass it over to you. That's our marinating one. And then with a pair of tongs, what I'm going to do is turn that over. You can see there's a little bit of colour on that already, and that's what I like. Now, you could use some of the marinating liquid to pour in there, so I've got some juice or some flavour, but just a minute or so on each side because
Very quick.
the fillet is cooked all the way through. What we're going to do is cook this all the way through. It'll take another minute or so. I'm going to pop it into this bowl, let it cool down, then I'm going to wash my hands on the board and get all that away because the rest of the meal is actually vegetarian. And I want to make sure that the pork is only one small part of it, and then we can have the rest of the stuff going together just for you, Rosie. Now, the most important part of my bento box is, of course, the rice. And we're going to do something called onigiri, which is a Japanese snack food. You buy them everywhere. It's basically rice shaped into a triangular sort of shape, you know, and most of the time it's filled with something. But it's really easy to make. And what I've got is some Japanese rice that I've already cooked and cooled down. Over here we've got some miso, which is something I know you love. And here we've got some seasoning mix, which you can buy in just about every single supermarket or Asian grocery store. Have a taste of it, Rosie. It's got really nice flavour to it. What I'll do is put about a teaspoon of the soy sauce in the miso, and I'll get you to put about a tablespoon of the seasoning mix.
These are like all my favourite ingredients.
Aren't they? It's just gorgeous. Packed full of flavour. There is a bit of salt in it, so just have a taste of it first before you go using it.
Salty.
Now, while you mix that together, what I'm going to do is dip my hands into a little bit of water. And water's a great thing. If you're ever going to make sushi rolls or use rice, water just stops it from sticking to your hands.
Else you will get a glove. You'll get a white Mickey Mouse glove, won't you?
And an awful mess. So what I'll do is I'll pop that into there like that. And then what I'm going to do, Rosie, is just with my finger here, just make a hole in the centre. Just in the centre like that. And what I'm going to get you to do, once you've mixed that together, you've nearly done, put about half a tablespoon into the centre here. Okay. And what happens is when I eat the onigiri, it's actually going to have this miso centre of it with lots of flavour into it. I'll pack a little bit more rice on the top there.
Oh, fab.
And then all I need to do, Rosie, and this is why I've got the cling film there, is pull it up like this with a cling film like that. And you're able to shape it. What I do is form it into a ball like this and make sure you get all the air out of it. I've closed it on the top there so it won't stick out. And then with your hand, you can make that shape, that triangle sort of shape there like that. It sort of takes a little bit of practice. There's special machines that do it. But when you do it by hand, hand-formed one is always the best. So once you've got it like that, you've basically got that
Can you
sort
make a
of shape.
cartoon character? That's what they do quite a lot. Can you do? Got any skills?
I've done a lot of research on it, and you can make them in just about any sort of shape. I've seen them made into little panda bears. And what you do is get a bit of nori sheet like this over the top there like that, and it allows you to eat it like that. Now this is great. It's almost like a Japanese-style hamburger. Very, very healthy. You could, of course, if you want to, dip it in some of the seasoning and then pop it on there. Now what I'm going to do, Rosie, is while you're making one, because you're not getting out of this scot-free, I'm going to get you to make one as well. I'm going to assemble the rest of the bento box. The pork's cooled down. I'm going to get some pickled cucumber with some ginger. I've got some sweet potato and seaweed. I'm going to put it all together, even with some boiled egg, and we'll have a cracking little bento box lunch.
We will.
Chopsticks in hand already. I'm ready to tuck into this.
Wow, Adrian, I'm really, really impressed. Like, I love Japanese for their ingredients, but actually a few other things as well is that they actually practice harahachibu, which is 80% full. So they never go too, you know, gluttonous. They're always kind of a little bit just stay on the edge there, and they use chopsticks, which slow you down. It's a lot more mindful as well.
I practice that as well, but I always go that extra 20%. You know what I mean? Put in that extra bit. So, now what I've got, the cucumbers, I've salted a little bit of the mirin on there. They taste delicious, especially with the pickled ginger.
And I simply have to try this, the Japanese burger.
Oh, fantastic. That is good. Seaweed with the sweet potato, that's really nice.
You've outdone yourself. This is wonderful.
That pork is beautiful. Nice and soft and tender. I took it off, it's got a bit of caramelisation. I took it out of the pan, so it's got lovely flavour to it. And of course, look at that, nice big chunk of rice. What's the centre like?
It's delicious. That miso, I can taste it. It's infused into the rice a little bit as well.
Look at that. Break it open like that. This is a great little lunchbox for kids. You know, you don't have to go crazy with all of these ingredients, but simple things would really impress the kids.
People would be lining up to swap with their lunch boxes, wouldn't they?
I reckon the teachers might try and knock off their lunches. What do you think?